What is going on, everybody? Let us get live on Wimkin. Olivia, I'm punching that ticket right meow.
Going in. Gotta refresh. Getting there. You could probably end it. It just is taking a sec.
It's okay, take your time.
Load. It's good. We are good.
All right, pop it out of Wimkin. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Got everybody in the house. Been the first time we've really been together since election night, so it's going to be interesting to hear what everyone thinks. By the way, we are now on Truth Social. Wimkin is our preferred channel. We will never change that. We love Wimkin. We want you to go to Wimkin first. If you want to reach us, it's always going to be Wimkin where we're going to be, www.wimkin.com. If you haven't signed up there, go there first. Do not go to Truth Social. Then, once you sign up for Wimkin, pick your profile pic, build your account, all that. 24 hours after you do that, you will not receive an email. You just sign in and you're good to go. Head on over to Truth Social, sign up. The DUM show is now officially there. I did not sign up for the DUM show initially. Our Truth Social, I had a Don't Unfriend Me account, but it didn't go anywhere. I abandoned it, so I just deleted it. And now we have At the DUM Show. Olivia's over there at DUM Live. What's up?
I have a question about that because I do have an account, but
Create a
should I
second
just name it or create a new one?
Your call. You decide how you want to do it. It's up to you, kid.
I did Livy Dumb because that's my profile name on everything else, but everyone knows me as.
Yeah, we're going to make it, we just want to make it easy for everyone to find everyone. You know what I mean? So we're good to go. By the way, folks, show goal is in place. We made it bigger. It's down all the way at the bottom, so Glenn can see it because Glenn has been struggling to see it because, trust me, I have a problem seeing it. So now you can. We're going for 250 tonight, and that will probably be the standard from now on for a while. So if you have the ability to help out the DUM show, please do. We've been demonetized by Facebook. So without you, we can't make it happen. By the way, I just want to show you something. This is gorgeous. My daughter just sent this to me. And it says, the first Donald Trump coming down the staircase, A New Hope. In the middle is Empire Strikes Back. And then the last one is Return of the Jedi.
That's so great.
Oh my gosh.
My daughter just sent that to me.
I love it.
I'm going to steal that. That's going to get hundreds of thousands of views.
Oh, that's great.
Last thing I would say is, once again, go follow us over at wimkin.com. We are going to have a wide range of topics tonight. Remember, the Yenny shirt is in stock. It's doing very well. People love the Yenny shirt. It is Yenny dancing on a pole, and people are ecstatic. Listen, if you're a guy, you can rock that shirt. I ordered it. Happy Veterans Day to Leeroy. Happy Veterans Day to all our vets out there. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate you. Muy mucho bieno, whatever.
Grande, yes. And thank you to you, Matt, because as the host, I feel like you might often get overlooked with this kind of thing, and yet you are a veteran too. So thank you for your service.
I was just going to say that people don't pay enough attention to me, and that's a very good point. I agree with you emphatically. Folks, we're on the 2 to the 1, and we'll be back in 3 minutes, and we'll have a good show for you. Step into a Wimkin. I wanted to. I was going to keep this. Hi, beautiful. That's not the woman I'm looking for. Unfortunately, there it is. I wanted to share something, and I wanted to keep it on the down low. But Leeroy and Amy, I want you to, like, if there was a endorsement that the DUM show could get. I mean, we got Roseanne Barr, which is pretty good, but from a military mindset, just from a military presence, a big figure, who would you, Leeroy, imagine getting would just be awesome?
Well, I'd say Colin Powell, but I think he's long since departed us.
Yeah, that would be a very interesting thing.
Might look a little
short.
pale.
not Schwarzkopf.
I want you to think of not a general and officer, but more of
okay.
operators.
Oh, Derek.
Yeah.
Derek Van Orden. I would think that would be good. No?
Nope. Keep going. Keep thinking. Keep thinking. Let's see what we can do here.
Marcus Luttrell.
That would be a good one.
That's just maybe a possibility. I don't know.
He's awesome.
Just maybe. Yeah, Jocko, I would shit my pants, but
Jocko's awesome.
Marcus would be interesting. I don't know. Maybe, just maybe Marcus Luttrell. Maybe.
You know, I've read 3 of his books, and he's an amazing dude, Jocko.
Oh God, yes, dude. Oh, he's huge. Eli already endorsed us, guys. I don't know if you knew that, but he already endorsed us.
So confused, you feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's
Hey, Matt, congratulations on your success, brother. And I really appreciate you giving, both sides, and just free speech, the opportunity to have a platform, dude.
Got it. You got it. Thanks for everything you've done for this country, Eli. We'll talk next time. Tell Jen hello, and I'll have this ready in a couple of hours, and you can share it and take a look. Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye-bye. What's going on, everybody? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. I am proud to announce that the Documents of Freedom are back in stock. It's a 3-book collection, leather-bound, by Arcadia Publishing. Starts out with the Bill of Rights, and it's the complete edition of the rights, so you can look up and reference anything your heart desires. Declaration of Independence, with revisions and founder images included, beautifully illustrated. And last but not least, what would Documents of Freedom be without the Constitution of the United States of America in its entirety? The box is handmade by PFC Flags, custom engraving, all 100% made in the USA from the nails to the glue. And we have a 5-star rating, satisfaction guaranteed, 150 sold, 5 stars or better. It is so important, especially in today's society, to ensure that the younger generation has these books available in the future. Get them for your family and friends, available right now. Head on over to thedumshow.com/books. Thanks so much.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. I realize I've been wearing my glasses, and I either need to get contacts. I can't stand the glasses.
You and contacts don't work.
I know, but they're driving me crazy, sweetie. Like, I get reflection, and, like, I'm sorry, but this is only going to be looking like this for so much longer. So I've got to embrace it, sweetie.
You've been looking like that for 25 years.
Yeah, but it's going to go.
Fine.
It's going to go away. So I got to do it for America.
Men are like.
I will say
fine
this:
wine.
you do not look your age, Matt. I will say that.
Yeah, I agree.
You're like a fine wine. You get better with age.
It's so true. Tell me more about me.
Wow.
So I want to. So listen, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But honestly, my eyes are doing okay right now.
A man as a woman is it?
So I wanted to talk about something. Thank you for the
Bobby.
Bobby Richardson. Bobby,
Wow, thanks,
thank
Bobby.
you. My God, that woman is incredible. Thank you, Bobby. Like everybody, but just very, very kind. LASIK, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. I don't know. We'll see.
It's not
My
worth it.
word.
It's not worth it at your age. It's not even worth it at my age right now because we're gonna have to end up wearing reading glasses and shit. So there's really no point. I would love to get it because I can't frickin' see, but
Right.
there's no point at this point. Past 40, it's kind of like, 41, 42 maybe, but our age, we're pushing it.
I think I'm going to do contacts, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get non-disposables, and I'm going to make sure hydrate my eyes, and I can handle them for 2 hours. 2 hours I can handle them, but I'm tired of wearing my glasses. It's like I need them, but I'm sick of it. Anyway, welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show.
I wear mine.
Amy's zoomed in tonight. I don't know what it's like so weird. Anyway,
Like super tall.
when we get the new Mac, it'll all be fixed. Let me do this. Let me put you right here and bring Liv down. What's up?
It's all good. I was gonna say, don't get LASIK. I had it. It's the worst experience of my life. I didn't even want to do it, and then Jason convinced me, and I regret it to this day. And they did say, like, this doesn't happen to anybody, but I'm like, thanks, Christine. But it happened to me.
What happened? My
got
God,
some
it's like more problems than Lassie. Seriously.
It's seriously, right? I have been wearing glasses since I was 8 years old. So at 38, 30 years later, I was like, I'll get LASIK. Because Jason's like, I swear it's so easy. It's so easy. I'm like, okay. I don't like anything touching my eyes. Contacts were a struggle for me too. So I get the LASIK. I did fine with the procedure, but 20 minutes afterwards, I'm like crying in the car. I'm like, it is so painful. I was dying. I mean, dying. And I don't like to take medication, but Jason's like, you got to take it. And I'm like, well, we're in the car. I have nothing to swallow a pill with. It was just dreadful. I slept for 24 hours, still in horrible pain. They said like I had some kind of complication where I didn't produce enough natural tears. And I'm like, well, shouldn't you have called that beforehand and like doing the procedure for me? So I had to put this salve, like it was like Vaseline sort of, in my eyes every day for like 3 months. No exaggeration. And then I still have problems to this day with severe dry eyes. I never had dry eyes ever before I had LASIK. I never had to use eye drops with contacts. It was just a nightmare. I have horrible problems even to this day because of it. So,
Amy, why are you so high maintenance? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's just like every day it's something.
Just lived a lot of life, short life. I've had like a lot of experience.
Could you just get like eye patches and try and do a show that way?
Yeah.
Right. You'd be like Sandra Bullock and just, in that movie. What was that movie?
Box,
I don't know.
Bird Box.
Yeah, Bird Box.
Was that any good? Quiet
No.
Place was amazing.
It was all right.
Stupid, right? All right, let's get to work. We're busy. All right, everyone knows I play video games, right?
Heard that once or twice.
Yeah, so
You may have mentioned it.
I love video games, like I do. And the thing is predominantly sport. Like my forte is sports games. Like I love my sports games, but I also love shooters and action RPGs, Diablo, stuff like that. Well, there's a new game called Dragon Age, and I have played all the Dragon Age games. I played all the Mass Effect games, and there's a lot of controversy. It's woke, and I will tell you that the game graphically is one of the prettiest games I've played. As far as combat systems, it's incredible. It is, in my opinion, revolutionary. And you can have a team of you and three, but it has a slow motion where you can actually go into the spells and the weapon combos for your partners and cast them in a slowdown. And you can't sit there forever, but you get a good, 40, 50, 60% slowdown in the action. So you can go ahead and react to an enemy coming. It's very unique. The spell effects are incredible. It's a beautiful game. But I will tell you, it is woke as shit. I mean woke. I can't even begin to tell you. And I've got 4 minutes of sample here because I think it's important to dive into it. Because here's the deal. I played all the Mass Effect games. And there was a basically where Shepard, one of the main guys in the thing, he fucked an alien. And it was very controversial. And she was like a blue, yeah, she was like a blue alien. And he had total sex with her in the game. And people are like, that's weird. And there's gay sex in there. And you know, not like, they're not like humping, but they're kissing. And you're like, this is a little strange for me. But it's always pushed the boundaries of societal norms. And you know, here's the deal. Is Harry Potter, when that game, it was one of the best games I've ever played in my life. And I almost didn't play it because it had a woke thing that you never even saw in the game. And I was like, this is weird. I'm going to go in there. I went in there and I'm like, this is not woke. This is fun. This is an amazing game. This game is woke. Like it's hard to take it seriously, but I want to talk about it. And we watch movies like everybody saw Avengers Endgame. We saw the stupid feminist movement that happened in the middle of that movie where they're like, who stands with her? I will, I will, I will, I will.
Right.
And literally the bitch just ran through a flying dragon the size of an aircraft carrier, but she needs help going 100 yards to a small van. Okay. Right. And we're all going to stop in the battle and have a conversation about how women are empowered. Give me a break. But we all watched it and loved it. So here's the video. I want to get your opinions, a real-time reaction, and see what you think. I may not watch all of it.
I'm going to kiss you right now.
You're barely even wearing a shirt.
So what I wear is a problem for you?
It's not. It's just, why dress like that? Are you trying to make your mother happy? It's just something my mother said the other day. And I act more like a man than a woman. I am not my mother. It feels right when she says I act more like a man. It feels right. Why does it feel right?
Do you like being a woman?
Nobody likes being a woman.
If something about being a woman is hurting you,
Not feeling comfortable in their own skin? As a man, as a woman?
Oh my God.
Turn her into something blighted and ugly and wrong. Something she was never supposed to be.
They don't even know what they're saying right there.
I can't even be a woman right. Are you trying to have sex with me? So
Okay, so
I'm non-binary.
this is the first one.
Is it because I didn't fit?
Now the reason is this guy put a laugh track in here, and this is the guy who created the video. He's doing the laughing and shit. So that's why I'm showing this to you, because he cut it.
As a woman, is it why I don't fit as a woman?
Tosh,
The shadow dragons say there are people who use they instead of he or she. They're not men or women. And I like how it feels when I imagine myself that way.
What does that mean?
It means I don't feel like a man or a woman.
If you are neither a man nor a woman, then what are you?
Non-binary. I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on. Quick, think about us having sex. So now we need to figure out if it's cash lock or Tom lock. Then maybe think about them for fun. Tom.
So
Dragons. I think it's dragons wouldn't still hold.
here you go. Now this is the one that has been played, and I wanted you to have all of it, right? Because if you see one scene, you're kind of like, whatever, that's
Right.
stupid. But they gave this character. First of all, they're ugly. They look like Will Smith's kid. They are. There's no depth. It's just whatever. It is just a real asshole. You don't bond with the character. They're completely overtly sexist, and this is what they did here. What happens? I'm setting up the scene. One of the characters is a very prominent character in the game in Dragon Age. And Dragon Age 1 and 2 are amazing, and they've reduced her to where she has to do push-ups because she misgendered somebody. And the reason why she does push-ups is that when you screw up, you should feel a little bit of pain. It's kind of like the military thing. And this awkward cringe moment is right here for you to see.
I am. Even if I don't feel like I fit, even if I feel wrong. Dragons wouldn't have kings. They'd have queens.
Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Did you just misgender?
They're still holding it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
What are you doing?
Yeah, show your
Pulling
sorry.
a barb.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pulling
Okay.
a brap.
A barb?
A brap.
When one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a barb.
And don't you ever misgender again.
Oh, Tarsh isn't the first non-binary member of the Lords.
Really?
It was a little before your time, but Horlicks was one of ours. Huh. Bastard looked better than I did in a dress or pants. Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole thing over with. Trust me, I know. But pulling a barb, you sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make it about them. Oh, you know, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
Say, who ate the last breaded cheese wand?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I guess I thought, well, I know what I have to do. I'm pulling a barb. One.
The last cheese stick?
Here you go.
I know, for eating the last cheese stick.
I mean,
You have to save it for the tranny, or like, what the hell? Like, I want the cheese stick. I'm sorry.
I'll be honest with you. When you eat the last cheese stick, you should be killed. I mean, it should be a put to death scenario. I want your opinions. Listen, I played the game. It is a beautifully crafted game that is not as cringe because it's a 100-hour game where about 5 minutes is that cringy, and then the rest of it is just normal. But it's definitely a part of the game, and I just fast forward through all the cutscenes. I refuse to watch it. I just played the game, and I was like, they're like, cutscene. This is a very important part. And I'm like, skip, and then go kill shit again. Thank you, Joseph. What are our thoughts? Who wants to go? What do you think about that shit?
I'll go first. First of all, I do not play games, so I can't really relate totally. Because I would imagine myself if I was playing this game, I would just go, "This is horse shit," and I would take it and throw it in the garbage. But I'm not a gamer, So this to me is like, one, who are they trying? Like, who's their audience? Like, who are the people that play this game? I wouldn't imagine this is like a woke audience. So it's like they're trying to just target the non-wokers, normal thinkers, I guess we're called.
Normies.
And then normies. And then they said that was like the dragon people that had the they them pronouns. I think that's suitable. Let's just call them dragon people and get that over with. I love that idea.
Well, they are called drag, most of them. You know, it's interesting. People like throw it in the trash. I'm like, I can't. It was a digital download. I'm not going to spend $70 on a game and throw it away. I'm sorry. I'm not that way. I'm not built that way. I mean, the game is incredible, minus this, and this ruins it. There's no doubt. That's why I skipped it, because if I would have seen it in the game, it would have pulled me away from the game, and I would have been like, "What the fuck is this? Why are we talking about this in a video game in a world of make believe and fantasy? Who has elemental powers where they're killing dragons and dropping colossal fucking statues of hell demons? You haven't eclipsed whether you should call somebody a pronoun or not. Really, that's escaped you. You can go through the lower 9 rings of hell and teleport across lands, but you can't figure out how to not offend somebody with their pronoun. Liv, your thoughts?
Well, I watched this with you when you first started playing it, and the whole time I'm watching with you, I'm just rolling my eyes. It's just dumb. I mean, why do we need this in a video?
Amy, put your camera down, for God's sake.
I haven't touched it. I have not. I don't touch anything. It all stays the same. I never touch anything when I leave. I
needs to
lower
come
my
down.
chair because I have to work.
Keep
but I
touching
bring
it, you're going to go blind.
Yeah.
Either go up or bring your camera down. It's driving me crazy too. Like you're a head shorter than everybody.
I had to then back up because my chair, I always put it to the top of my desk.
It's okay. Go ahead, Liv.
It's just dumb that they're trying to push it into people's faces, and they're trying to please the 1 to 2%. But honestly, that top 1 to 2% that's pushing that agenda, majority of them don't even play video games. So why are they trying to please them with that? You're just going to piss off the hardcore video gamers because they don't care about this shit. And you're just going to piss them off. And I guarantee that if they come out with another Dragon Age game, the sales are going to be abysmal on it. And no one's going to buy it.
Well, this one, the interesting thing is on Steam, it did very well, but they pumped fake reviews into it. They've also removed some of the content from the new release of the digital game, but the gamers just, people just bash this stuff. They go after it hard, and it's obviously impacted. And a lot of people are like, this is a great studio. Honestly, they are one of the top studios, and it's gonna hurt. And a lot of people were super negative. So, when people like throw it in the trash, I'm just not that simple-minded. There's books that I've read where I'm like, okay, I don't like this. And I skip the part and I move on. Olivia forced me to read Twilight. And when I got to book 2 and I had to literally read like 72 chapters of them building a fucking motorcycle, at that point I'm like, okay, I'm done. I went to the end. I'm like, okay, I'm done with the book. I just won't read it. But anyway, Leeroy, your thoughts on this? Larry Hatfield, welcome back to the podcast, by the way. Larry, it's been, I don't know, maybe a year. I don't know how long it's been. Larry says, everyone looks different except Matt. Has it been that long? Maybe.
You saying I look older?
Yeah, how bad do we look? Jeez.
Yeah, geez, Larry.
It's been a rough 4 years, I'll say that. Can you back off maybe a little bit?
Thanks, Larry.
Jeez, Larry.
I wasn't even on 4 years ago, so just out of curiosity.
Yeah. So
I look different? I don't know. Your voice sounds scraggly tonight, like scratchy. Allergies?
Yeah, it's that time of the year. It's what always happens. Ragweed and all that crap. The only thing that's going to make me better, you know what that is?
That's a good point. Can't do that right now, though. Give him a show, but
we're
not that kind of that kind of show.
Thank you, Karen. You're amazing.
That was
Matt,
Kevster.
My granddaughter.
Kevster, not Karen.
Oh, Kevster. Sorry.
That's another new nickname, Kevin. You're now Karen.
No, I said Karen. I was reading this.
Okay. His donation
thank
just
you,
popped
thank
up.
you, Kevster. Karen says, Matt, my granddaughter received her Documents of Freedom book. She is very happy and loves the book stand too. Well, that's great. Leeroy, I'm so glad, Karen. That is amazing. That's what we want. Leeroy, go ahead, buddy. Sorry, I didn't mean to shorten that, Karen, but I want to give Leeroy his chance.
You're good. I was thinking about all of the sexual injections into our media ever since I can recall, right? And it goes all the way back to plays like Romeo and Juliet, and then later the books called Lolita. In the 1970s, there was a song by the Kinks called Lola. Everyone remembers that one.
That's right.
They even referenced in the Aliens movie from 1986 how one of the Marines had gone off base and like banged a male Nocturian. There was Aerosmith's Dude Looked Like a Lady. Hell, the 80s were the era of the big hair bands. And if you saw any of those guys from the back, you might double check and like, is that which gender, right? There was movies like Tootsie and Mrs. Doubtfire. So I think sexualization has always been prevalent in our media and in our songs. This is one of those cases where video games have just taken it to the next level. And for anybody who's old like me, way back when in the late 90s, early 90s, there was a video game called Leisure Suit Larry, where the guy would do like this investigative thing and go around the town banging everybody as like this private investigator. So again, this kind of thing has always been prevalent, but what makes this different is that with the hypersexualization of the kids today, and this real kind of harping on which gender are you, right? Or how do you feel today? This is one of those things that just takes that and runs with it. And so now you're left in the situation where anybody, if you're not a good parent and you buy this for your kid and all of a sudden in 5 months' time, they start asking questions, maybe you shouldn't be too shocked. This is one of those situations where I don't know if the game has a PG rating. Does it, Matt?
They used to be ESRB. So to answer your question, yes, it has one, and it is not necessarily rated. Let me find out for you before I answer that question. I don't know. It has a rating. I just don't know what it is. I'll let you know.
Well, I guess my point is, unless you are an extremely vigilant parent right now, these days, you're likely going to get ambushed at some point with a question that maybe you weren't ready for at the dinner table. And if your son or daughter says, "Mommy, Daddy, I think I might be the other way," or "How do I know I'm a boy?" You need to be ready to have these conversations.
Yeah, it's Peggy 18. It used to be ESRB. Now it's Peggy, and I don't know why they changed it, but it's a game rating system, and it's very much similar. The age that it shows, you have to be above that, and so it's a Peggy 18 game. So that's a nice to see, is that if you're not 18 years old, but that doesn't matter because all this shit's online, and what parents do is they go, here's the credit card. It's attached to the account. Just go ahead and buy the game. So there is, when you build the character, there is nudity. They've added that now. I mean, games do that. It used to be, it would be, they would have underwear on or something, but now it's full nudity. And when I say full nudity, Olivia will tell you, there's games where your character creation, you can give them a giant penis. And in my case, it's the only option of character. Whenever I build one, it's weird. But you can also give your character a vagina too and stuff like that. And you're kind of like, it's weird, right? It's weird. And who are you curtailing to, right? Who's your audience? Who's your demographic? And if it's not kids, then you're basically putting in nudity so adults get off. And what the hell are adults doing looking at a AI version of video games and going, oh yeah, that looks good? I don't know. It's just very strange. By the way, Yenny the cat, folks, you can go get it available on the Dumb Show right now if you're interested.
The face on that cat right there looks like a Mancoon. Just saying.
Yeah,
that's Yenny is a Mancoon.
Oh, okay.
She's awesome.
And not trying to be an ass, but it is Maine Coon, not Mancoon. It's Maine Coon. Don't misgender her. It's Maine Coon.
No.
Yeah, she's
not misgender. That would be
Miss Species.
Oh,
no.
Misstate, because Maine is a state, and man, so it is gender. He said Mancoon, and it's Maine Coon. So don't misgender her, and and don't misstate her either. I'm totally kidding, but so
yeah.
So here, let's get to the nitty gritty. Is this that big of a deal?
No.
No.
I'm not a gamer though, so I just like I said, if it were me playing a game, I would I don't want to watch this. I throw it in the garbage or whatever. You can't throw it away, so I would just be delete this from whatever it's on. I don't understand the gaming world, but that's me because I don't game. I could play Mario Kart with my kids or Wii Sports, but that's the extent of my gaming. So
yeah.
I don't care at all because I'm not a gamer. So
yeah, it's not a big deal. What was a big deal was Target. And when it was shoved in everyone's faces and put at the level of children.
Yeah.
So the kids that was the problem. This isn't a problem because it's going to be few and far between that are going to buy it. And this probably is not going to influence, just a handful of people it might influence, but that's it. Because being a third game in the series, it's the hardcore gamers that are going to be playing it, the ones who've played the other games. And either A, they're going to be okay, this is stupid and delete it. Or B, they're going to be like you and go, I love the game. I'm just going to skip all the cutscenes and still play the game. So
yeah, go ahead, Leeroy.
I would liken it to some of the media that's currently available way back when, CDs used to have an NC-17 rating or something along those lines. Same thing with movies. You as a vigilant parent, you just have to be on your game because I've always treated everything like this. You have to assume that there is evil out in the world. And I'm not saying the game is evil, but what I am saying is you have to have your head on a swivel when you're talking about protecting your kids. And if this is just another example of one of those things you have to be aware of, It's just another item you add to your list before you bring it into your home. That's all.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like my thoughts are, it's behind a paywall. And if you disagree with this, then you disagree with porn. You disagree with adult books. You disagree with anything that is age restrictive, and that's okay because you have every right to feel that way. My thoughts are this: is I don't think it creates harm. I think it's stupid. And anything that you can do to dumbify America is a tragedy because it's already very dumb, and you're making it worse. Angel, I'm sorry to hear about your friend. A 21 gun salute. What did your friend got a 21 gun salute? That's very rare. 21 gun is a very prestigious honor. What did your friend do to earn a 21? I'm very interested to know. Could you give us some insight on that? That's huge. Yeah, 21 is usually reserved for generals or senators or, presidents, things like that. But wow, I'd love to find out what it was. And I'm sorry to hear about your friend. So we've agreed.
Maybe it was the 7 and they shot 3 times. That's what my grandfather had.
Yeah.
Because they shoot 3 times. So maybe that's where it's 21. I don't know. Possibly.
Most of the funeral details, when you get assigned to them, they will haul out a lot of times the VFW will come out and supply the 21 gun salute. But it's usually just 7
right,
dudes who.
But that's not a 21 gun salute. But that's not a 21 gun salute. That's
maybe that's how
salute.
she's interpreting it, though.
Oh yeah,
that's what I was saying. Maybe
possible.
that's what it is.
Oh yeah, no. I understand that.
Yeah,
completely. But that's not a 21 gun salute. 21 gun salute is 21 firearms simultaneously going off, and I'm sure that's what she's saying. So I just was wondering because that's huge. Like that's reserved. No, that's probably what it was. Absolutely, and I'm aware. And sometimes it's 3-man salute. You have 3-man teams, so it's not. It just depends what it is. So that would make sense. I'm reading. Yes, they're social. Could be worse, but I don't see it. I just heard. I don't see it. Okay. So our overall thought process on this is that you need to be careful of what your kids play. You shouldn't give them unfettered access to the internet. You shouldn't give them unfettered access to books and video games. This is our argument as parents. Is not that we need to censor this stuff. It's just we have to have a right to control what our kids intake and what they don't, based upon
exactly.
21 shoots, 7 rifles. I understand that, Thomas. Sorry, we're not speaking the same language. Sorry, 21 gun salute to me is very different than 7-man team shooting 3 times. Okay, that's very different. That's my point. Okay, so, let's let it go.
There we go.
Let's move on.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Can I
What's
address
that?
something that was said about me in the comments? And I don't usually care to address comments said about me, but this I feel like it's very damaging to my reputation. I have never been a redhead, and I will never be a redhead, so I do not appreciate that. I have never been a redhead.
What was the comment?
What was it?
Does the
Someone
carpet match the drapes?
I'm like, what the fuck? I've never been a redhead. Who said it? It was what's his name? I can't think of his name. I'm so upset. I'm like, this is not me.
Maybe they accused you of being a witch or something?
No, it was the gentleman that came back after like a year off of Facebook because he needed a break from Facebook. What's his name? Hatfield.
Larry Hatfield.
Larry Hatfield.
Yes, Larry was like, oh, mother of pearl. Larry said that because he said how we changed. He's like, you used to be a redhead, and I'm like, I have not been a redhead. Never a redhead.
You seem extremely offended to be called a redhead.
Yeah, Larry's on. What's
wrong with redheads?
Now we know why Larry left. So standard firing team, 7 men, 3 times. Totally understand. But the tradition is from Navy and goes to the Navy with cannons firing from the galleys of the ships, the underscore of the ship, 21 guns firing simultaneously. During JFK's ceremony, it wasn't a 7-man team. They had cannons lined up, extreme. So when I'm talking about a true 21 gun, and that's what I understand what the standard 21 gun is. The way it was presented was my first reaction was, holy shit, a 21 gun salute. That's interesting. I should have recognized what she was saying. I'm just clarifying myself. There's a difference between a 7-man 3 squad or 7 squad going 3 times and a actual 21 gun salute is my point. Matt, you have any knowledge of this Chinese hacking of cell phone data and calls on prominent political figures? Just heard today. Not yet. If it just came out today, I'd be interested to do a little research before I do that. Let's talk about something else.
Hang on. Oh. Amy has to answer why she doesn't like redheads. We got a lot of people going, what's wrong with redheads?
Just don't say short hair.
My brother and sister are redheads.
Great for them. I would never be a redhead. I just would never do it. And no, I don't know. No. I don't want to have to they need like extra doses of medication. Like they're built different. I'm not a redhead. Never have been. Never had my hair dyed red.
Yeah, no. but you seem to be taking it really personal. Like, do you not like redheads? Is there some reason you don't like them? Is it kind of like that you used to beat one up all the time?
No, I have no issue with anyone who's a redhead that I can think of. I don't know. I'm not a redhead, and I don't want to be a redhead.
Got it.
You don't want to be. I got it.
I never was.
I think you're safe. Yeah. Did you dye your hair to get rid of your red hair originally? Is that what happened?
No. When I started the show, my hair was like pretty much my natural color, but my mom has she's just kept badgering me. You look better as a blonde, so I just keep lightening it. So
when did you stop being a witch?
Right. Does the carpet match the drapes? I mean, that's really the question everyone has. I mean, are you a natural redhead and you're just covering it up?
No.
Right. Real quick, Angel, what first of all, like, honor to your friend for Veterans Day, of course, and that's what did she do in the military? If you wouldn't mind letting me know, I'm interested. And where was she buried? And that's also, something that would be interesting to hear. So, yeah, it's very, yeah. Okay, are we ready to move on from the video games and the red hair shit and 21 gun salutes? Okay, great. FEMA official ordered relief workers to skip houses with Trump signs. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but this degenerative piece of shit is a FEMA official. And she is obviously a part of the federal disaster relief. And she told her workers in a message to avoid homes advertising Trump as they canvassed Lake Placid, Florida, to identify residents who could qualify for federal aid. Her name is Marnie I can't understand why they spell shit like this. MARN''I. Okay, you know what? Can we just get to the point where you guys just call yourself T? Right? Yeah. I'm or Tuwaka. I'm sick of this shit. Marnie I. Washington relayed this message both verbally and in a group chat. Here's the group chat. She actually, how stupid can you be? Everything is forever. Where it says, avoid advertising Trump homes. The employee said it felt wrong to discriminate against Trump supporters. I volunteered here to help disasters, and this whistleblower came forward. So this is what we've kind of known all along. FEMA director said, we are aware of it. We're taking proper action in this situation, whatever the hell that means. My thoughts, and then I'd like to get your thoughts, is if you remember right before the election, we were talking about FEMA and we were kind of negative about FEMA. And excuse me for saying, but we were chastised and told that we were just drumming up and using it for political shit. How many times has this happened before? And how much power do these directors have that they can decide, let's do this house, let's do this house, let's not do this house, or this house is too expensive and it's going to cost us too much money? Your overall thoughts on this, I'd like to know what your thoughts were and are.
Who wants to go first?
I think you go first because.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I know that this person, Marnie Washington, she got in quite a bit of trouble, and I think there's some periodicals out there that suggest that she was in fact fired for doing this. Now, that's great in terms of was that a just outcome for being so politically charged, right? Because FEMA is supposed to be a non-political. Hey, you're supposed to be there to help everyone who is having an emergency, and this person instead went the other direction and tried to weaponize FEMA, and so rightfully she was fired. Now, here's the bigger question: how do we avoid this in the future? How do we make sure that the people that we hire in institutions like FEMA don't carry this political bias with them? Right. I'm glad that she got fired, and I hope that that's one of those things that sticks with her resume for the next, 20 years. That'd be great.
And the problem that I have with being fired is it's not enough. Like there should be criminal charges brought against her, so she never gets a job without them knowing what she did again. Like if a police officer pulls someone out of the car and unjustified beats the shit out of them, they get flagged for that. And it goes on their permanent record. This is not going to. She's a federal employee. She may never work for the federal government again, but she could go and work for a 501c3 or a contractor, whatever. And to me, like, can I just be, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off and then go to Olivia and Amy, maybe this is excessive, but I think she should be put to unalive. That's how serious this is, in my opinion.
Publicly.
You have to make an example sometime. I'm sick of this shit. You just, okay, I want you to think about this. What's the difference between what the Third Reich did by going into the Jewish communities and trashing Jewish businesses, taking away their livelihood? What if somebody would have said, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that to people. And if you do, here are the consequences. You have to stem this type of action, because if you don't, it will escalate into people disregarding and thinking that Trump supporters are less human than non-Trump supporters. So maybe facing a firing squad is a little much. But if we find that this person has done this repeatedly and put people who are suffering from tragedy and loss and make it worse, to me, I don't find that any different than torturing a human being. I don't find it any different than what happened with the Jews or what's happened to anyone who's been persecuted. So I feel very strongly about this. And my buddy said at the breakfast table with Olivia and I, and I didn't flinch when he said it. He's like, she should be held accountable to a standard of life. And maybe it's a little excessive, but my point is if this went unchecked, how much damage would this lady have caused? How many lives would she have altered and destroyed if she wasn't caught? And we have to go ahead and think about that and put that to the equation. So yes, I'm definitely overreacting. There's no doubt. But at this point, we need to make an example that this shit needs to stop. Okay, there I'm done. There's my soapbox. Liv, go ahead.
She definitely needs to be made an example of. And it needs to be very public and very harsh. When we first moved to Colorado, we had some good friends, and he ran a garage. And one of the employees was dumping bad stuff down a drain he wasn't supposed to be doing, and they got caught. The employee got fired, but because he owned the business, he was held responsible, and the judge hit him with everything, and he ended up doing jail time for this, and it wasn't even his fault. And the reason why is the judge says he's making an example of him so no one does it.
Right.
And he suffered for that. They lost pretty much everything. It was horrible.
Yeah.
This woman needs to be made an example of. And she needs everything shoved at her. It needs to be public, and everyone needs to see it. So they know that if they do this, this is what's going to happen to you. And this needs to be the standard set so no one does it. It's not going to happen, but that's what needs to happen.
I just want you to imagine if you were that family and you don't have any water, you don't have any food, your kid's sick, they don't have their medicine, you need shelter, you need safety, and that person is like, nah, fuck them. Is that attempted murder? It's a serious question. Is that holding resources, like if a doctor just lets go of your artery, that you ask for a clamp and you don't have that size clamp, and he just lets go of your artery in the middle of a surgery and watches you bleed out, will that doctor be held accountable? Well, they should be.
Right.
If an officer runs you over to their vehicle and claims it's an accident, if you have somebody look at Derek Chauvin was on top of him, and he was held accountable for his actions and will spend the rest of his life in prison, minus any chance for parole. I don't think it's the rest of his life, but most of his natural born life in prison. You have to ask yourself the question, is that attempted murder, holding emergency care away from someone? And if we hold doctors accountable and we hold paramedics accountable, why would we not hold her to the same standard if that is her job, is to save lives? Amy, what do you think?
That's so heavy, man. First, I think Trump is going to get rid of a lot of these people. He's already doing such a great job. I'm so grateful for him already starting the process. Like, this is like so exciting.
Yeah, he is.
This is really, I kind of agree with you. I don't know if I would put her to death over this, but I will say this. I think she does need to do, life in prison, I would think would be absolutely fine. It's just like you said, I'm tired of having a target on my back. I'm tired of not being able to express my true opinion. Not that I need to go shout it from the rooftops. I don't need to do that. I'm not that kind of person. But when I have to think twice about wearing a shirt that I want to wear or a hat that I want to wear, because I'm like, crap, I'm going to X, Y, and Z. I mean, we went to Richmond yesterday, and I look like a Trump supporter. I'm pretty sure. I didn't wear my DUM jacket because it was
You look
chilly.
like a redhead. You look like a
I
redhead.
do.
Oh.
Not a redhead. And I was a little nervous because I'm like, gosh, like it's so blue in Richmond. It was just, I was like, I made a bad choice, but I didn't have any issues. I was with my kids. Obviously, we had a great day, but it was just, it is disgusting how we are treated as less than human. I think it's quite obvious. You can find hundreds or thousands of videos where far leftists are saying that they want us all dead. Anyone who voted for Trump, anyone who supported Trump, they want us dead. So this lady clearly wants those people dead as well. And I think she should do life in prison. I don't know about if she deserves a death penalty. I don't know if she actually murdered anybody or anyone died as a result of her behavior. But I do agree, life in prison would be great because she clearly has hate in her heart and she wants us all dead.
I think that they need to go into her past and any type of public office she's had. They need to look into everything that she's had her hands on. And I really hope some lawsuits come out. I really hope some of the families in, what was it, Lancaster, Florida, I hope they, that they can look and go, wait, we asked for this, or we were, doing this and blah, 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 blah. We had a Trump sign in our front yard and we didn't get any help. And people start putting the dots together and realize that that's why they didn't get what they needed. And I really hope people come together, and I hope they build a lawsuit against her. And I would love for everything to be thrown at her. This woman is evil, in my opinion.
And it's, at the very worst, if somebody died, it's manslaughter, or at least attempted murder. I mean, this is, you have to follow the rule of law, and the presumption of innocence is absolutely, I know, Leeroy, you're going to go in the names. Right. It's absolutely imperative, but just because somebody got away with nobody dying doesn't mean that it wasn't attempted murder. That's the point I'm trying to say. If you book an assassination and then that assassination is unsuccessful, you're held accountable. Leeroy, then Amy. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, two quick ones. One, to address everything that everyone has said so far. Should she be charged with a crime? I saw a possible hate crime mentioned in the comments. Absolutely. Attempted murder. I don't know. It'd be a hard call. If I was a district attorney looking to come down on somebody, that might be a little bit of a stretch. But absolutely, she needs to be charged with something. That way, it sticks with her for the rest of her life. Now, the other piece to that, and I wanted to bring this up. This is post-World War II Germany. is anybody familiar with the Stanley Milgram experiment?
With Mobley, did you say? What?
The Stanley Milgram experiment. It's where they
No.
administered electric shock treatment, and
Oh, yes.
it was
Yes.
it was done from the perspective of, am I going to listen to this person of authority in either aiding or not aiding someone that I know is either in trouble or not in trouble, right? This is a perfect example of that, because here you have a person in power, a position of power within the government, saying, don't help that person. And it's the same. And I just wanted to throw this out there because it's important. The Stanley Milgram experiment found that a shockingly high proportion of participants, around 65%, will fully obey the people in positions of power. So we need to make sure that the people that are in those positions of power are non-biased. I just want to throw that out there.
No, that's a great point. Amy, go ahead, and then I want to talk about obeying. And this is an interesting comment. Go ahead.
I've got some.
And that's kind of where I was going to. I was wondering, had they done an investigation across all of the FEMA people who knew about this internally and let it go? Because people were just like, whatever. But would they have fired her if this never came out to be a public thing?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is like, it needs to be a whole, like, FEMA should be dismantled. We need to have, like, let the people, we have the Louisiana people, I forget we have them, the
Cajun Navy.
Yeah. Like, if they're able to come together and make like, let us say, we're going to send this back to the people. We're going to give the money back to y'all, and you guys form your own system to help people out. Like, I think we would do a better job than the freaking government. And I think we have done a better job than the government.
Fair enough.
She needs to have a felony at least, so she can't vote again.
Yeah.
Well, she can vote. Understand is that a lot of states, you can be charged with a felony, and then once you serve your time, you can apply for your privileges to vote again. It's not you get a felony in your record and it's over for the rest of your life. Now, in some places it is, but like, the last thing I care about is voting and carrying a handgun. This person withheld aid when their entire job is to provide aid, life-saving aid. And that's what FEMA is. It's an emergency service that provides life-saving necessity. And if you withhold that, then the antithesis of that is ultimately harming people. So if she was a dentist and she was giving, women nitrous, knocking them out and feeling them up, would she be held accountable? Yeah. It's against the law. You can't do that. And you certainly can't withhold aid because it's a form of torture. And if you go ahead and kidnap somebody and torture them, are you going to be held accountable? Yes, you absolutely will. This type of shit needs to stop. This isn't you spitting in a burger. This isn't you dropping a fork and delivering it to a table. This is you fucking with people's lives, and it has to be addressed. It's interesting you said that, Ames. When it comes to obey, or Leeroy said it, right? About obeying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm watching, we were talking about these women with these haircuts and cutting their hair, and I'm not going to give my man sex because Donald Trump is president. And this lady came on, she was great. She was wearing a hijab, and she was obviously Muslim. And she comes out and she goes, if you're at your job, you're going to obey your boss and do what he says. If you're driving down the road and you get pulled over by a cop, you're going to obey him and do what he says. If you're in college and a man comes up to you and tells you to do something, you're going to do what he says. Tells you need to get this paper done or whatever. And you give them a position of respect. But you will never listen to your own husband who tries to have an opinion on abortion or have an opinion on where, do you stay home or do you work? And the level of that is you give complete strangers respect, but you don't even respect your own husband. And I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
It's pretty true. I know with my wife, it doesn't matter what it is, every job I've ever taken, whenever I make a decision that involves money or my career, she's always involved. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean she does the same thing to me, but I do the same thing for her. there has to be a level of respect. And it's just interesting that these women do this. And when she was saying it's not like you have to obey, but you do have to show a level of respect that that person's opinion means something. And all these women are like, in my opinion, full of shit and just not honest about what's happening here. There's two things. Megyn Kelly has a video. We have to show it to you. And oh my God, is it good?
I love her.
And I'm going to divorce Olivia. I'm just going to have to. I'm going to have to marry Megyn Kelly. I think Olivia wants to marry her
We could just
too.
become sister wives. She could just join the family.
I think she should. I'm going to ask if she'll move in. But this goes to that. I want to thank Candace for ordering the Yenny on the Prowl long sleeve shirt. Congratulations on that. You will love it. Let me know what you think of it. Anybody else on this topic before we move on to some others?
No.
Okay. Somebody have something? Go ahead.
No, I said no. I was just saying no. I think we're good. I think we covered most of the topics or most of the points.
Yeah,
no, I
so
was
too.
writing down something in post. It wasn't necessarily related to that, but I was thinking about what you said about obeying, how some wives have to obey their.
That's not what I said.
I know what you mean. I know what you meant.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of the context of the conversation.
Okay.
And I feel like every relationship that everyone has, doesn't matter who it's with, husband, wife, wife, boss, husband, boss, whoever the hell it is, it all comes down to three things. You can either be a pacifist in your arguments, you can out-logic them and just have the slow, rational conversation, or you can out-yell them. You can out-emotional them, right? And I think I feel like that's what
we're going to
the
show
Democrat had done for the last 4 years. Is just out-yell us.
I've got to show you some videos. We're gonna pick up the speed now because there's so much I have to show you tonight. I've got a plethora of shit. Frost 10 says leading report is Harris reportedly now asking for donations to fund recounts. I'll do this after Megyn Kelly. This is just a ploy to raise money. She has no grounds for recount. There is not going to be no national recount. This is retarded. This is just to get her out of debt because her campaign is $20 million in debt. I will explain that in a second. Please don't let me forget. First, let me show you Megyn Kelly, which is important. And we all should watch Megyn Kelly every day as long as we can. And we will do our part and do this here. This is frickin' awesome. Language.
I can totally relate. I was open-minded. I was never a feminist, but I certainly was listening on where women were in America. And then your absolute insanity radicalized me the other way, to stand up against you, to fight you with everything I have, because you're destructive and you're deeply, deeply wrong. And my standing up for female empowerment, which I've done my entire life, does not require me to shit all over American men. I'm sorry. But this is why I never called myself a feminist to begin with, because I knew what you leftists thought of feminism. It meant abortion and crapping on men. And most of us women over on the side of the normies don't want that. We love our husband. We love our boys, our sons, our dads, our brothers, our male friends and colleagues. And we are not ready to consider this a zero-sum game where we must advance at their expense. Until you get that through your thick fucking head, you'll keep losing.
Love it. It's awesome.
I am aroused.
I'm sexually aroused, Commander. I was going to say the same thing.
You guys.
I'm sexually aroused, Commander.
Jeez.
I mean, my God.
You may tighten the pants there. Yeah.
That just, dude, it's incredible. The fourth wave and third and fourth wave of feminism is completely just absolute dog shit. But Megyn Kelly, I am so proud of her because I have been saying to conservatives, we need to cuss a little more. I am sick and tired of censoring myself. We have a right to be upset. And it doesn't mean you're not a Christian because you cuss. It means you're passionate. And I will stand up and say, I have set the trend. I don't care how small I am. I don't give a shit. I have been cussing and I was told, you'll never make it. You know what? We haven't made it. But guess what? If Megyn Kelly can drop F-bombs and say shit once in a while when she needs to, then damn it, maybe we all can just embrace. I know it turns some people off, but trust me, you listen to that with all intent because of what she said. Go ahead.
Joe Rogan,
2
how many
minutes.
followers does he have?
Yeah.
I mean, and he cusses more than all of us combined on one show, and people love him. So I don't think that unless you're on a Christian talk radio, I don't think cussing every once in a while is a bad thing. It gets points across. You know, it's not like we're slinging F-bombs every other word. But I mean, Charlemagne the God or whatever his name. I mean, doesn't he have quite the potty mouth? I mean,
yeah,
so
it doesn't. I look at it this way: it's if you can't understand that my vocabulary is not a monosyllabic one, then even in that sentence, then you've got problems, because I communicate more often than not in a style that most people go, what? And if I throw in a few, shit and fucks, it makes me relatable, I would think. Because I've listened to Tucker Carlson, I've listened to Jordan Peterson, I've listened to Leeroy, I've listened to Ben Shapiro, and all of them are intellectuals beyond intellectuals. And I could have a conversation with them sitting at that table. And if they said don't cuss, I would be fine not to. But this is my show, and I'm going to cuss if I want to. But Damani comes on all the time, and I asked him, "Are you okay?" Yep, okay. And I've had guests that are like, "No, I don't want to cuss." And I'm like, "Okay." I asked Eli, and Eli's like, "I won't because I'm running." And I said, "Well, then I won't either." So you just have to, figure it out. All right. So we all agree that Megyn Kelly's hot and a complete badass, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Leroy's a little giddy over there.
And here is somebody who is not hot. You know what? She's not an ugly woman, but what makes her ugly are her policies.
Adjusting transmitter output.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Every show. This is Anna Navarro, and she has some things to say about Donald Trump, which really emphasize what Megyn Kelly just said. Here it is.
Look, Donald Trump won the electoral vote. He won. He's going to win the House. He won the Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the.
Wait a second.
Effects and purposes?
It's not. It's intent and purposes. Oh my God.
Okay. Sure.
Effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court, Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court. They've given him immunity. This is what the country voted for. This is, a lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it for people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as border czar, and he will be in charge of a mass deportation program, the largest the country has ever seen, they say. And now Stephen Miller as deputy chief of staff should let you know that he was absolutely serious. And when you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers. It means your family members. It means your colleagues. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around and you're about to find out.
Good.
Well,
that's what we wanted. That's why we voted for him.
Yeah, exactly. I think we knew what we voted for. I think we're ready.
By the way, you said grandma twice. So
for all extents and purposes, folks, let's try to stay on point.
It was effects and purposes.
I can say whatever I want. If I want to say extents and purposes, I can say that. If she can say effects, Amy, you go first.
I feel bad for her in a way because clearly she thinks that we are so stupid that we didn't know what we were voting for. Like, we're all surprised that Trump is like making our country already amazing again, and he's not even in office yet. Like, he's already doing the things that we need. And I think it's really sad that she is so dumb that she believes that we are all so dumb that we just don't grasp reality. I mean, that's really pathetic and sad to think that about more than 50% of your fellow constituents here in the United States of America. And I will feel sad for people who have to leave that have been here, that have never taken the time to get their freaking citizenship, that have been here for 25 years and they've never gone through the process. that will suck. I'm sorry, because they probably should have taken the time to get their citizenship, but they didn't go through the process. It's hard for me to feel bad. Our country is in such bad state. We have to like start at ground zero, and that's like leveling it off. And it's got to start at ground zero and work its way back up, or we will never survive. So
Liv,
it
good
sucks,
call.
but it kind of happens.
Yeah, I completely agree. That the fact that, yeah, it's kind of insulting that she thinks that, yeah, like Amy said, we're not smart enough to think that we know what we're voting for. Oh no, we knew what we were voting for, and we voted for him for that reason. That was the number one reason I voted for him, is the border, and to get them all out. I mean, I have a heart and I feel bad, but you should have come here legally. And I understand it can take a while. But like, if you've been here 20 years and you're still in the legal, you've had plenty of time to get it. You've had plenty of time to apply and go through the motions of getting it. And I'm sorry, but go back to your own country and then come back correctly and become an American citizen.
Cool. Trying to keep time limit on things.
Yes.
So we're going to try to keep it to 2 minutes per person and keep this moving because we got a lot to cover. Very quickly, we are at $145.33. We're about $105 shy of our goal. TheDUMShow.com/donate. We run these shows. It's not to have a huge money-making scheme. It costs money to run these shows. It costs bandwidth. We have to pay for the services, the software, the streaming for people. It's a lot. So Facebook has completely demonetized us. Everyone knows that. I had a video that hit 300,000 views, and I made $5.12 on it. A year ago, I would have made $700 on that video. So it's just, this is what they do, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we need your help to keep Facebook supplemented so we can continue to be here, because we don't really want to be here anymore. I'm not going to lie. We're kind of sick of Facebook, but we're going to stay because we've got an overwhelming amount of emails. Help us. Go to thedumshow.com/donate. Don't hurt yourself. If you don't have it, don't. Take care of you first. Put your oxygen on first. But if you like the show, you watch the show. We got almost 250 people on right now. We need you. So help us out if you can. If you can't, that's okay too. Just like, share, follow, and subscribe. Who's next?
Leeroy.
Me.
Go, Leeroy.
I will say this, and I have 2 minutes to tell you. That every 4 years or every 8 years, we seem to get this oscillation that happens within the media and politics. And in the years where the Republicans are in charge, then CNN and MSNBC and all of those media outlets, they want to become the prosecutor in a court case. But when they are when it's the Democrats who have made some call out there, right, then all of a sudden they want to become the defense attorney. And this is a prime example of that, right? Listen to the language she was actually trying to use. She was saying, no, they're not illegals. They're your aunts. They're your uncles. They're your grandmothers, your daughters. She's trying to put a name to the face because she knows, this is an attorney trick, that when you do that, you personalize them, you humanize them. But the fact of the matter is, until those illegal people are here and they've gone through their citizenship test and they've gone through the actual steps to become citizens, that's what they are. They're illegal. Once they're legal, then we can call them aunt, daughter, mother, brother, all of that.
Yeah, they're all very good points. My only contribution to this topic is it's an extreme to sit here and say that illegals are American citizens, that they're all criminals, that they all deserve to be deported, that there aren't individual circumstances that need to be addressed. That is one very large extreme. And it's also extreme to say that they're all innocent, good people, and that we're going to take out grandma. We can have a happy medium. And the point is this, and whether you like this or not, they are criminals. That's it. And they are here illegally. And what they do to maintain their residency is continue to break the law. Thank you so much, Deborah. We appreciate the donation. So let's stop blowing sunshine. There are going to be people who don't deserve to be shipped off who will be. There will be people who most assuredly deserve who won't be. And we're going to have to do this. And I truly believe Donald Trump will start with the criminals. And I believe, if I know Donald Trump well enough, he is going to probably naturalize quite a few, 2 million, who have been here, who have family here, who have ties here, who are on the record, who, you know, whether it's DACA recipients or whatever it would be, he will make effort. But there are people who need to go, and they are very bad people, and they are housing criminals, and and we're losing our identity as a country, and we have to fix it. We are going to do what Europe didn't. Once you have the and I will say an infestation of criminals. Yes, that's exactly what it is. I'm not dehumanizing people. They're criminals. It will take over. And there is a balance that's needed. Go look at Europe. You can look at pretty much every single major country except the United States has struggled with mass immigration and mass exodus from other countries. And it is changing the face of who they are. We have to stop it. And it's no longer bring me your huddled masses. It's now sit there. We'll let you know if you're huddled and if you can come in. And if not, you need to turn your ass around and go home, because that's what needs to take place. All right. Something to think about. Anyway, let's go to the next thing. Sorry. I'm trying to solve a problem for something for Karen, and she said she didn't get it, her box. Donald Trump. I want you to watch this. He has been coming out, and Amy mentioned it, that he's been bringing out policy and talking about what he's going to do. Well, this is interesting. It's a 10-point plan to rebuild American schools. I'd like you each to grab a point that really moves you out of the 10 and write it down or remember it. And if you happen to cover the same topic, great. And if you each get something different, that's also great.
Prayer to our school.
Let's take a listen. What impacts you? We'll see if it's different, or we'll see if it's all the same. Here it is.
Here are 10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will ensure our classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed: reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job. They're going to be very, very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs and career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God-given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American child. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states. Thank you very much.
There was a lot in there that I agreed with.
So if you haven't had a chance to donate, folks, we're about 30 minutes away, and we have hit our goal every day. I think we're at like day 26, show 26, since we've done the nightly goal, and this will be the 9th month that we've hit it. So just wanted to remind you, if you have an opportunity, please help us out. Let's see, Leeroy, you go.
Well, right out of the gate, my very first thought, and you're going to have to forgive me for this one, and I talk a lot with my hands, sorry. I wanted to look up to see what his comparisons were to Project 2025. I'm trying to make sure that we are calling out when applicable that, hey, look, this is not on Project 2025's list, right? Because I want to make sure that the people of today know that there is a separation there. Hey, that was not on there. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's not enough talk to separate those. Now, that being said, the very first thing that jumped out to me was point number 5, safe schools. I think that by far and above, that is the point that the left uses more than anyone to try and separate the left from the right in terms of gun control and using our kids as political fodder to achieve a political goal. I am 1,000% behind him on that. And what those steps are, I don't know. But that was the first thing that jumped out at me on that. Maybe some of the idea is to pull funding from at the federal level, right? Maybe translate that into security for the schools rather than pushing the former agenda. I would like to see that happen, maybe.
Okay, Amy, as a private school mom.
As a private school mom, I know most people are going to think I'm going to say prayer, but I think that would be wonderful. But I really think the school choice would be my number one. Like, this is so important. Because I do think, like, I pay taxes. I'm paying for public school, and I'm also paying for private school, which is extremely expensive, but it's important to my family, which we do get prayer. We do get a lot of different things. We have a lot of the control over things. I'm looking through these. One thing he didn't mention that I think I would suggest, and he has come out with a website. I'm not sure if anyone knows this, but Donald Trump has come out with a website that you can recommend things, and they're going to, yeah. So I would actually type this in, but I think all schools should wear a uniform, and I think a lot of people might be against it, but I think it's a level set for everyone. It really changes the playing field. I mean, truly, truly changes. My kids wear a uniform, and yes, it's a private school, but there are kids on scholarship in that school that go for free, which is wonderful. And you don't know, because everyone wears the same thing. It doesn't matter. You wear the uniform. And they're not fancy uniforms, but it's a uniform. It's a polo shirt for boys, khaki pants or shorts, and girls. It's a little different, but it's all the same.
Keep going. I was just letting you know, I have something. Karen, if it was lost in the mail or one of your neighbors took it, I'll just send you another one. We'll take the loss on that. You're a great follower, and it's $65. We'll figure it out. So I'm not going to let your daughter not have her book. So just let me know if you can't find it. I'll give it a couple days. You can also go to USPS or the post office and file a claim. If they dropped it on the front door and they didn't secure it properly, that's not your responsibility. They can't do that in an apartment building. They're supposed to somehow, they can leave it with a front office manager or something to that effect for pickup. But if they can't put it in a box, they should take it to the front or leave you a slip. But either way, let me know.
Send me an email, and I can look up what the tracking number is.
I already did.
You already did?
I sent it to her, but you can also make a claim. So we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Olivia, your thoughts. 2 minutes, remember. Don't forget
Yeah.
the 2 minutes.
So I mean, there was a lot in there. I'm very happy that federal's being taken out of the education system. My first question with that is what's going to happen with taxes? What's going to happen with that? But the first three really jumped out at me. I really can't decide which one's more important, but us being able to control the education of our children and to have a say in what they learn and what they are not going to learn. Us having a say in that these teachers with tenure shouldn't be an issue. Tenure should not be there. If you're a crappy teacher, I don't care if you've been there for 20 years, you should be fired if you're doing a crappy job, because half these teachers hit their tenure and they're like, screw it. It's just a job, whatever. I don't care anymore. And this is why our education system has gone to shit, because of these teachers. And teaching STEM, getting politics out of school, it is going to change everything. And it's going to get the next generation of voters and the next generation of young people to not become what this generation has become. And the I need a safe space and the I hate people unless they think the same way as me and the blah, 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 blah. It's going to take all that out of it. The one thing I wish he would bring up is the unions. They need to completely get rid of the education unions completely. I wish that's the one thing that they would do that is not on that list, but it's a good list.
If you go ahead and absolve the Department of Education, the union representation would change as well.
Good.
So I think everybody's points are all fairly poignant and well received. I've got a couple that I don't agree with. And prayer in school is one of them. I adamantly, fervently disagree. And not because I don't believe God isn't needed, but I take that as a parent's responsibility to bring that education to their child. And which religion do we choose? And I'm sorry, but a Jew should not have to be forced in prayer. Now, if you want to, in my opinion, is what you should do is you should educate kids and give them a moment of prayer in school if they want to participate, and they can pray in any way they shape. They can pray to Allah. They can go ahead and say words to Buddha if they want to. They're not going to light incense, but you give a prayer time, and that's wonderful. You should do it before meals. Everyone takes 30 seconds before a meal when you sit down in the cafeteria and take a moment to reflect on what you're thankful for, or say thank you to whatever deity and religion you choose to. That would be a great thing. And it completely changes the prayer in school debate, considering we don't have a national language, we don't have a national race, and we certainly don't have a national sexual disposition, and certainly not a national religion. So I think that's how you get around that. And I think most people would agree that that would be something that the states could swallow. The other thing is the funding, right? I mean, if you're going to absolve the tax dollars, you're going to have to allow the states to keep those tax dollars directly and refund this. So I think there's a money problem here, but they waste so fucking much that state oversight is needed, and it's too big. It's so big, it's a failure. I love the vocational learning and experiential learning. I think it's absolutely essential. I think it's what schools are missing is that, dissecting a frog was a rite of passage. You had to smell the formaldehyde. You had to get your hands dirty. And now it's done on an iPad. And it's like, I believe we need to get back to teaching kids how to balance a checkbook. And I think home ec is important, but experiential, I think wood shop and auto mechanics and all of these things, there should be a general standard knowledge goal that we have for our kids to make them independent when they leave the home. And, you should make 50 things. And by the time they're a senior, they know how to balance a checkbook. They know how to do a load of laundry. They know how to contact energy companies and apply for to get their water and power turned on. These things are normal practices. I think Donald Trump has to be careful. Yeah, because he is a Republican, but he is crossing lines into the 10th Amendment. And this isn't the first thing. He said he's going to make reciprocity a federal directive. You can do that, but you can't enforce the states to honor that. That is a 10th Amendment issue. A lot of this public education is a 10th Amendment issue. And he's going to have to understand is that there are things that he can and there's things that he can't do without legislation. So I think a lot of this sounds great. But one thing he can do is absolutely dissolve the Department of Education. I hope he has a plan to replace it before he does that. Otherwise, the school systems are going to go from bad to worse really quick. That's not a good idea. Have a backup. Thank you, Janet Crenshaw. Any other thoughts on, now that we've all had our thoughts, and anyone else want to add anything?
I'll just touch on the prayer thing really quick. I think I actually agree with you. And look, my kids pray probably, I don't know, they probably pray 4 times a day at school, like intentional prayer. They say the rosary once a week, but every morning they say an intentional prayer, which I think could be just set as an intention for everyone, because it's just reminding them that to focus on their work that day, use your hands wisely, use your feet wisely, use your head. Like, just, I think that's always great. And I think a lot of the prayers could be reworked as intentions, like to set yourself up for the day, to give you that moment of silence, to give yourself that mental moment of break. Because I know not everyone is Catholic or Christian or whatever, but I think we are founded on Christian values. So I wouldn't even push that either, though. I don't agree with that as a Catholic person who we pray all the time.
People have opinions. Thomas Griffith says the Lord's Prayer encompasses all and does not discriminately leave any out. It certainly does. Sure does. So the kingdom of heaven is not all encompassing to all religions. It may be that everyone can reach the kingdom of heaven if they acknowledge God and accept Jesus Christ as their savior. But Muslims don't recognize that, and Jews have a different way of looking at things, and Latter-day Saints have a different way and Orthodox have a different way. I don't believe that anyone should participate in prayer that is not their religion, and I think it's dangerous. And I think we have to be very careful that we were very, very adamant that the rainbow flag and the teaching of acceptance of LGBTQ principles was an indoctrinating standpoint. And I think we need to understand that religion can also be considered the same thing, no matter how much it's pure and loving to you. It doesn't mean that anyone should be forced to participate in something that they don't believe in. That's not us. And prayer in school has its place, and it should be allowed. It should never be restricted, but it should never be forced. The Pledge of Allegiance is something that I think should be brought back before anything. And when you say one nation under God, you have to balance that, right? Do you consider that prayer? Who is God? And I think most people would realize that all organized religion has a god or a deity that they worship. So is Allah God? Yes. So I don't know the parameters of that, but I think there's some very important things that need to be brought into school that have been removed and replaced with an ideology that is not only damaging to who we are as a nation, but to the development of our children. So I am a conservative constitutionalist, and you're never going to hear me say that the government should force the states to do anything, ever.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Leeroy, then Amy.
Real quick, and if this goes off track, just tell me to shut the hell up. 2 minutes ago, Marco Rubio was just tapped as the new Secretary of State.
Yeah, I saw that in the comments.
Correct.
Is that a good choice?
Yes. Yeah, Rubio's good. He'll be a good Secretary of State. A lot of people are saying Vivek, and I still think Vivek as communications director would be, White House communications director would be his best role. I don't know if he'll take that, but he should. Thomas, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is I believe the Lord's Prayer is absolutely encompassing of all, but that's not my point. Christianity is encompassing of all. It's a religion of love and acceptance, right? That's not the point. There's people who don't believe in it, and there's people who believe in something else, right. And you're telling them to pray to something that they don't believe in. And to me, I think that performing the Lord's Prayer is against a lot of people's beliefs. And it starts off, my friend, if I'm not mistaken, hallowed be our Father art in heaven, right? Well, a lot of people don't believe in the Father of heaven and therefore should not have to participate in a prayer. I am all about the individual rights of our country. I am not for disavowing religion. I would love for everyone to become a Christian, but that's not the way this is going to work. And I am for the individual rights. And if I would be, if I wasn't, I'd be a hypocrite. I would be a hypocrite. So I am the biggest gun owner in the fucking world. And I think reciprocity everyone should be open carry. Concealed carry should be permittable. I think that's important for police officer safety and crime and everything else. But I don't want it forced on the states. The states should decide, or you need to codify this into an amendment with a 2/3 majority of the House and the Senate. And if you do that, then we can do it. But just like I don't want abortion, a national abortion, I don't want national reciprocity until it's codified as a amendment, because that's the way we do things here. We don't put out executive orders for policy changes universally. Leeroy has had more of an effect on me being a libertarian than, and I got to go to Amy next, but than a libertarian than most anybody. Those are views I've always held, but it's very much a libertarian viewpoint. Amy, then Leeroy. Yeah. Then we got to move. 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Going back to the prayer, as a Christian, I understand people wanting to bring prayer into school. I want everyone to know Jesus. I want to bring that to people that don't know Jesus, because that is what we are called to do. So I feel that like burden of what we're feeling like we should have it in school. However, I also believe in the Constitution, and we were founded under God as a Christian nation, but it's not in our Constitution to pray in schools, and that does take away our rights. So that's it.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. I didn't say that, Angel. All the things you just said, I didn't say any of that. So, in fact, I'm the one that said we should have a moment for prayer, and people should self-reflect. They should not be made to pray. He said, bring prayer back in schools, and Donald Trump is a Christian. Bring prayer in school. Allow them a moment to say thanks and whatever, but you have to be very, very careful. Okay. I think it's very important that we remember who we are, that we are constitutionalists, or at least most of us are, and if not all of us. Oh my God. Two meltdowns that I want. This is going to be the end of us. Folks, we are $46 away. $46 away. I don't want to be the first night that we don't hit our goal. So let's see what we can do. thedumshow.com/donate. Did anyone want to, we have a couple more minutes. Does anyone want to chime in?
No, I think you just 30 seconds. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think that so long as we as Americans, as right-leaning Americans, remember this document, right, then it doesn't matter who's in office, whether it be the guy that we want or the guy that we didn't want. It doesn't matter. Just keep this little book in mind, which is available at thedumshow.com. Will always be in the right. Just remember to hang on to those values of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and you'll never go wrong.
Quickly, off topic, but if the lawsuits against Trump are dropped from New York, will Trump get his $350 million back? He's going to appeal the fine and the punishment as unjust and unfair. He's going to win that appeal. Most assuredly, he will owe E. Jean Carroll something, because it was found that he was liable for slander, and he was. And not only did he do it, he tempted his fate yet again. The question is the original premise going to be overturned? And it very well could be. But this is civil matters, and I will tell you that the preponderance of evidence in civil matters is not even remotely close to criminal, and very rarely are decisions overturned on appeal for the actual liability itself, but the dollar amount. So you should see a huge reduction in the fine and the penalty, but I don't believe that they will overturn the decision at the civil court level. It's just, it doesn't happen. It's very rare. So we'll see. I could be wrong, but that would be the first time in a long time. And I think she's batshit crazy. Like, I don't think he sexually assaulted her. I think they went into that dressing room, if at all, and it was a mutual exchange of physicality. And, you know, she decided to go ahead and say something later. I'd love to see her take a lie detector test, honestly. I think she would fail it miserably. But anyway, that's my opinion. Let's get to this video. This is how every liberal argues. And
I think there are a lot of families out there.
And Leeroy mentioned this earlier about emotional reaction, emotional debate. And this is like, you know, Jimmy Kimmel crying and, no, I know you are. What am I? You're a nana nana boo boo. And, you know, that's the way Jimmy Kimmel debates. And this isn't a debate. Yeah. The form of debate in this country has stopped. There is no such thing as debate anymore. It just is. It's non-existence. It is this. It's somebody says something and you react in an emotional triggered sense. That is not debate. Thank you, Laura. We're real close, everybody. 227.30. Laura, thanks for bringing us closer. We're about $23 away. Let's watch this, and then I want you. You're going to get upset at this because this just makes my teeth itch. Here it is.
I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls' softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Let's reset for a second because, look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Sharmichael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, like, let's try to talk.
Hey, Blackie, stop being so insensitive to the white guy. Are words that I never thought would be on my bingo list. I'm just letting you know. Never, ever thought would be on my bingo list.
About this in a way that is respectful.
By a black woman telling a black man to not slur a white guy. You heard it here first, folks. CNN, breaking history.
So let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't. You're not. Just to be clear, you are not being.
But I am.
Yes, he is.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not. But he wants to sit here and bloviate.
I'm saying you're using a phrase that you know.
So the way regular people interpret it,
that's not regular people. That's not regular people. There's no consensus. These are actually boys. This whole thing about trans girls is a canard. We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population.
That may be the
and we're
case,
using
but
that
my point in
to
terms
take
of
away
its
healthcare from thousands of people.
Hold on, just get to your point.
My point in terms of its effectiveness. Regular people with children look at these things and they say, you know what, this is a bit too far. I do not agree with this. I don't like this. I think Democrats are going way too much to the left on social issues. They're uncomfortable with it. A lot of people believe that. A lot of families believe that. You may disagree with that reality, but that's why Republicans kept running those ads over and over and over again, because they saw the metrics suggested that they were working.
In those ads over and over again and using rhetoric like you just used, saying this is boys playing girls sports. First of all, we're talking about 5 people in the entire country. We're talking about trans girls being allowed to play with the people who are in their gender. And if you don't believe, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association.
The American Medical Association.
But this is not about the
guys.
This is about trying.
I think sure.
I'm going to go first because I've been a very good boy. I am so appalled at the stupidity of grown people that I have heard more intellectual conversation between my daughter and her 3 14-year-old girlfriends than I heard in that entire clip at that table. This is not intellectual transfer of ideas. This is not how you communicate. We need to change the way we think. And here is where it is. Humility is where we start. You are not that fucking important that if I say something that you need to play Captain America and defend the entire transgender fucking community because you're triggered. That is not what you are. That is not what you are responsible for. That is not what you can do. Hi, kiddo. And you have to understand that if you wear that mantle and that cape and you put that shield on you, you're waiting to be offended. You're waiting to jump into the fray and shut someone else down. And that is not the way you walk into a conversation. You must walk into a conversation with positive intent for the person speaking if you're going to debate. And if you don't, you're going to take everything as a negative. You're going to take everything personal, and nothing will get accomplished. In that entire conversation, nothing was accomplished. Nothing. So I'm just disappointed that people continue to air this crap. And the best way is Joe Pesci, edible garbage. The news media now produces edible garbage. And every one of us are forced to consume it. I would encourage you to get outside, get some fresh air, and realize that saying the word boys should not drum up some sort of feeling of homophobia or transphobia. Olivia, then Leeroy, then Amy.
That conversation reminds me of a conversation I had with the little 2-year-old girl that I nanny for about her little brother wanted to read a specific book, but she didn't want to. So when I said, no, we're going to read this book, she grabbed it and threw it at me. That's about the extent that conversation had. It's the intellectual of a fucking toddler is what that table has. That's pretty much what I just witnessed. I just witnessed temper tantrums, and that's what that guy did. He didn't want to read the book that the other guy wanted to, so he took it and threw it at him and then screamed and cried for 10 minutes because he didn't get his way. Yeah. And that's exactly what I just watched. And that was one of my days last week at work.
Yeah.
But that's what I watched right there. There's no difference except that was full-grown adults and not a 2-year-old. So that's all I have to say on that.
Veterans before illegals, folks. You can pick up the shirt right now at thedumshow.com. You can pick up Red Friday shirts. You can pick up the Punisher Lady Death Skull. You can't pick up Leeroy's because it's a shellback shirt and you haven't crossed the equator. Leeroy?
That was the lamest debate I have ever heard. The guy who was offended, and I'm going to mess this up because when CNN was flashing the names, it looked like his last name was Michelson and he was a rabbi. If that was the white guy who was offended, then literally his debate tactic was, I'm not listening because I don't like those words.
Yeah.
Right? That's not a debate tactic. That is you acting like a child and not bringing anything intellectual to the table. Right. That is not someone who should have ever appeared on national TV. If you want higher quality stuff, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, look here. Looking eyes. Look at Matt. Look at Olivia. Look at Amy. Bring us on. We will elevate the quality of your content. This guy, this Michelson guy, sad. And for, I think his name was Carmichael Singleton, if I got that right.
Yeah.
He was the Republican strategist. Liked him. I liked him a lot.
He's great. He's amazing. Yeah. Like he's awesome. And there's two guys. I actually like this show because it gets heated and they bring in Republican. It's very much the Five, but it's different. And they're trying. CNN is trying to, it's entertaining content. I find myself laughing at the conversations more often than not. Amy, go ahead with you and then we'll go to our last thing.
Just really quick to comment on Liv's toddler tantrum. I think there's more hope for the toddlers that you're nanny for than for these adults.
Probably.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
I would also say, please don't listen to any religious figure who is also famous. I think they're all awful. Like any rabbi or priest or like, televangelist person, like please turn them off. Go to your local church, open your freaking Bible. Like that's where you get your word from, not these crazy people on TV who want fame and money, not to bring people to God. So that's my 2 cents.
You know what's interesting, and I agree with you wholeheartedly about this. It's why is it that a host says something and then you're responsible for taking your side's argument and then listening to theirs and sitting there. Why? So I just want to give put this out here. I believe there's a new form of conversation that needs to take place. And what I would love is for a host to ask a question that they want an authentic answer to. And if someone said to me, yeah, there we go. And that means not only is the answer honest and true, but you must deliver it in an authentic way. And if somebody says, what do you feel about transphobia or transgenders and trans girls and trans boys? My reaction is just like, I do not necessarily believe that my 14-year-old needs to be talking about straight sex. I don't want them talking about gay sex either. I want my children, more importantly, to have that conversation with their mother and father. So I am not for one or against one. My point is that they will have a time to experiment with that. Hopefully it'll be when my daughter gets out of the convent that she can go ahead and figure those out, or she can wait to college. But the truth of the matter is that this isn't relevant to the conversation that we need to be having. The question we need to be having, and the question you should be asking is, what are schools designed to do? Are they to teach people to learn, or are they there to teach people what to learn? Because then it is not a school of education. It's a school of indoctrination. You should be teaching kids how to think, not what to think. And that is the difference, fundamental difference. And it's relatable to straight people. It's relatable to homosexuals, transgenders, or rainbow-spotted unicorns. That's my answer. And when this guy, what's he going to say? You know what? Oh, I fucking agree with you. Okay. Now we can have a place to start. When you debate, it is important not only to represent your own position, but the other person's position to what you say. And when you do that, you make them give you something other than a canned response. And they've got to think on their feet. That is the transfer of ideas. Anybody want to touch on that? Anyone want to scratch on that, or are we done?
No, I think authentic debate is something that has been sorely lacking in the public spotlight for the last, 15 years.
Right.
Ever since he came down from his escalator and said, "Hey, I'm going to start running."
Here are
everyone lost
10
their
key
minds.
ideas that will power our movement.
Yes.
Bobby, that was so generous.
Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby. Bobby, we need to talk about flying you out and having a weekend.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Come out to Virginia and you give.
Take you to Tammy's and.
Yeah, to go out and have some fun, and you do so many great things for us, and everybody does. I mean, this isn't about the money, but Bobby consistently helps the show. And she closes the gap. So like when we have a gap, she always closes. Mel closes the gap. Kev closes the gap. I can't even list the amount of people, but I'm going to try. So here is our running tape total while I address this.
And this
Curtis,
is a brand new.
Thank you, Curtis.
Brand new.
Thank you, Curtis.
Very much, Curtis.
It's very, very nice of you guys. Thank you. These are the people who've donated in the last couple of days. I want to say thank you. Go ahead, Leeroy. I apologize. I rolled over you, buddy.
No, I was making fun. I was going to show Curtis my titties.
Oh, that's worth more than 5201. But these are the people who've helped out, and I want to say thank you so much. And even the ones who have helped out in the past, you're loved. Even if you didn't help out, I don't care. We appreciate you. And unlike other shows, we try to. Jeez.
Well,
thank you,
thanks,
Gene.
Gene.
We try to show our appreciation when people donate, because it does mean the world to us. And $10 is not easy, and $50 isn't easy. And you investing in us, it means a great deal. So thank you so much.
Yeah. I have a quick question. Just I don't know. Do they not have debate as a class any longer in public school?
They do. It's just not. It's just not as prominent, and a lot of people are afraid to express their opinions, and a lot of schools have discontinued it because it creates uncomfortability, and they don't want uncomfortability. I did debate in high school. Listen, I sucked at everything in high school. I was a killer debater. That's just something I never prepared.
I was going to say, I bet I could see that.
Yeah. I never prepared for a debate in my life, ever. I was in Lion Club Kiwanis debate, and I did it outside of school too. I love school. I love debating. And I never prepared because if I did not have the knowledge available, then I didn't have an opinion. And isn't that a beautiful thing that you can just say, you know what, when I used to debate people, I'd be like, that is a wonderful point. I don't have an opinion because I don't know the answer to that. So if it's true, wow, that's something for me to think about. Can you please tell me, out of the points that I've made, what you've thought about and what has moved you to go and explore further? And the answer is always, and it's like,
it's hard. It's not an easy thing.
No,
it's not. Can I add something to that?
Yeah, please do.
Real quick. A year and a half ago, I read a book by a guy named Bo So. He's a South Korean. I think he was going to Harvard.
Shocking. Shocking that he's North Korean.
I think he was going to Harvard at the time. Anyway, he wrote a book, and he's the world champion debater at collegiate level debate. And he had this really amazing piece on his debate tactics. And I read it, and it's really amazing. If you get a chance, go ahead and pick it up. But just real quick, like those first 3 points are, is the problem real? Is the question real? Number 2 is it important? Sometimes it's not. And then number 3 is your argument specific enough, to Matt's point? So I love that kind of thing. Definitely it's useful, especially when you're talking to somebody from the left who you think has an opposing point of view.
I will tell you, we have brought a lot of people on this show who start off firebrand hot, and I give it to them right back. Like, I'll insult them, I'll break them down, I'll crush them, and I can play that game. But I always try to leave people better than I find them. And I always try to bring it back in the end and try to find some mutual ground. I'm not interested, like debating, I'm not interested in winning. There is no winner in a debate. The key is, at the end of the debate, is, did you influence people to consider another viewpoint? And if you did, then you won. Then you both won. If you didn't take anything from the exchange, then you did not listen, and both of you failed. Because debate, it's important not only to help influence that other person, but also influence yours so you get better at what you do. And if you can't improve, then you're a know-it-all, and you're not a successful debater. You're a dick. You're just a dick. Okay? That's why Mehdi Hassan, answer your fucking pager, Mehdi. Please. Just answer when a beeper goes, please answer it, because you are a cock.
Beeper? What century is this?
Think, dude, think. He's a Hamas. He was the host from MSNBC who was fired, but he's also a Hamas supporter. And what happened is somebody he was debating with said, well, don't check your pager. And fucking Mehdi went off. Like, he was just like, did you just threaten to kill me? So every time I see him on Twitter, I end my whatever sentence is with pager boy. I'm like, okay, pager boy.
That's awesome.
Who's next? I love
that. I stayed away from debate as far as I could in high school. I hated talking in front of the class. I hated it. I mean, it took you 3 years to get me on this show. And even longer to get me to actually talk with an opinion.
You do well. Everyone has. Someone just said it best. I would love to see Matt debate Ted Cruz on a certain topic. That's the key. If it's a topic that you appreciate and a topic that you understand, and there's experiential and book learning involved, you'll be successful. And Ted Cruz, constitutional law. I'm not going to debate Ted Cruz on constitutional law because I defer to him for a lot of his ideas. But if Ted Cruz wants to debate that he has been an ill-effective senator, I am more than happy to tell him why he is and why he could be better, because I like Ted Cruz. I want to love Ted Cruz, and the only way he can do that is stop trying to appease everybody and be everybody's friend and start proposing the legislation that you know is right. Stop waiting for orders. It frustrates me. It's why I never would have voted for him for president. We're gonna stop here. I think it's a good play. I think yes.
The Frost 10 wanted to remind you about the Harris recount. Is that something we'll cover tomorrow?
No, we'll talk about it right now.
Okay.
So very, very quick. But first I got to show that. I got to show this video. And Amy, I'm cognizant of your time. Just give me just a few minutes. This is fucking hilarious. Here's another guy that I just bitch slap all around, Michael Cohen. And he is Trump's former attorney who rolled over on him. And I love to give this guy a world of shit, and I do, and I don't let him off the hook. This is what people did to him on his live chat. Now, understand, he has I don't know if it's Instagram or whatever, but you can put little avatars on him and stuff like that while he's talking, and this is what occurred.
No problem. Wow, genius you are. Can we stop with that? I appreciate it. I don't like the stupid turkeys. All right, let's just knock that stupid shit off, please. All right. I did. I said I was leaving, and then the following day, get that through your dumb heads. The following day, I turned around and I said that there's no chance in the world that I'm leaving my country. Thank you very much. All right. I'm not leaving anyway. You leave. This is my country.
We did threaten to leave.
And I have every right, every single right within which to turn around when we stop so we can. All right, 2 seconds. I'm going to end up blocking this idiot.
Oh my God, this is so good.
No problem.
Here are my quick thoughts. If you can't laugh at yourself, you're a dick.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, I've talked to my audience like that. And it's never because of me feeling stupid or making me look stupid. It's the fact that I want them to understand something, and my own inability to convey it to them effectively always makes me uncomfortable. When you recognize your shortcomings, you will trip on those landmines less. And the third thing is, dude, you need to get the fuck offline, because you are too easy to gaslight and trigger. Like, bro,
what's that?
That's Cohen. That's Trump's old lawyer who turned state's evidence against him and lied, and he's a fucking horrible human being. But, bro, you're not good enough for this business. Like, you may be a great lawyer, but you're not. But you are not going to survive in this game. Hold on a second. If you can't handle and allow people to laugh at you and not laugh at yourself, this business is not for you. If you can't be self-deprecating. So anyway, you have very few redeeming qualities, and none of them were demonstrated on that video. Go ahead, Libby.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay. We're married. I love you. It's fine.
I just love the fact how he said, I'm not leaving my country. You leave. This is my country.
Right.
We're not the ones who fucking said we're leaving if Trump gets elected.
Yeah.
You did.
Good point.
So just a thought, I never said I wanted to leave my country.
Yeah. And what type of coward are you that you would abandon your country when it's in need? It needs everybody. So honestly, you're just a giant pussy. Amy, any thoughts on Cohen with the turkey head?
I love it. I hope he does more lives, and I'm gonna sign up for notifications so that I can too make these fun. That's just fun. I don't know. I didn't know you could do that. I don't watch a lot of live stuff though, but that's awesome.
I didn't know you could do that to somebody else's live stream.
You can when you open it up, but I mean, you should have known what you're gonna get. You should have known how bad it was going to be. I have to say this, and I meant to. And Leeroy, if you want to talk about Cohen, ladies, is it okay? Here, I'll just do it here.
Just put it in the middle. It's fine.
I don't want to cover you. No. It's disrespectful. Okay.
It's like those Photoshop. It's like when someone goes online and says, "Hey, can someone Photoshop and make me look bigger in this?" But and then they hack it to hell. Same thing.
Right. Like, can you take out the Statue of Liberty in this picture? And they basically take your head and put it on the Statue of Liberty, and take the Statue of Liberty's head and put it on your body. Yeah, I've done. Being that I'm a pretty decent at Photoshop, I've done many. I have to do this. And really, I do. And we will not be later. Amy, if you got to go.
No, I said I'm good to 9:15, 9:20ish.
I know. I'm just trying to be cognizant.
I'm fine. I'm just saying if you want me to stay after to do all the other stuff, I don't.
We'll do it later. We'll do it later. So what I want to show you is this. Now, I've come down on AOC plenty, but it's very important that we are balanced. And I don't like her policies. But I would ask that you all want a politician who listens to you. And you want a politician who at least represents the constituency. And although we do not like AOC's policies, I would say that she is one of the top 3 who represent her constituency and what they want. This is a program that she did, and she even put it up on her page. It says, I'm listening. And it allows people to point things out. And she asked some questions. People who support both Trump and me or voted Trump Dem, tell us why. And the answers were, it's real simple. Trump and you care for the working class. But wanted change, so I went with Trump and blue for the rest of the ballot to put some brakes on. I told you that's what people do. Voted Trump, but I like you and Bernie. I don't trust either party establishment. Action and progress, stagnation and excuses. Both of you push boundaries and force growth. I would have voted for you and Trump, but I'm in California. I like your style. Will you please share what you learn? I'm baffled by split votes. I feel that you both are outsiders compared to the rest of the DC establishment. I feel like Trump and you are both real. Trump is going to get us the money and lets men have a voice. You're brilliant and have amazing passion. There is something there, and I want your reaction because I found it quite genuine and interesting. Because here are people saying a bartender and a billionaire are their pick because they're not establishment. And I want to get your thoughts on that. So anyone can go, and then we'll call it a night.
I'll go.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's a great idea. It's kind of like doing the those things at work where, you know, you get to rate your boss or whatever. I mean, she's trying to understand what her constituents want, and that's great. But her getting Amazon kicked out of her where she was wanting all those 25,000 jobs.
Oh, yeah. She's
that's
a
really
shit
caring
politician.
for your constituents.
Yeah, she's a horrible politician.
Totally. Yeah, because I don't think she cares a rat's ass for him, but I think she got a ration of shit for getting the Amazon warehouse out of that area.
Right.
Because she lost all those jobs. But I mean, I think it's great that she is trying to reach out and understand. Now she actually needs to take some of those ideas and put them to work.
Right.
As opposed to, I'm going to pocket these for my next election and only do them during the election. And then they're going to go right back into the pocket and I'll get some more advice for my next election. So I hope she builds on this and does something with it as opposed to just using it to win the next election. That's my thought.
Yeah. And, you know, it's very clear. I'm a big fan of her policies. I just think it's interesting that we want politicians to take feedback, and she's out there taking feedback. I think it's commendable. What she does with it is the key. But it was very interesting to hear that her supporters voted for Trump. And there were tens of thousands of replies that were all just like that. We voted for Trump because of this. And I was like, holy shit, AOC supporters voted for Trump. Amy, go ahead.
I would like to read the comments on this thread because that would be more interesting to me. You could tell this was very genuine. The grammar was atrocious, which really bothers me personally. Like the lack of correct punctuation, and that bothers me to like no end. I don't know why, because she is a politician. I know she's just like a bartender politician, but she still shouldn't be that uneducated, or run it through like Chat GPT or something, or whatever it is grammarly. That just bothers me personally. I do think it's the right thing. I think more politicians should do this. But I think there just needs to be some like tweaking. I feel like she should have run it by someone in her, PR team or something. Like, just, it needed to be a little different, not maybe more fluffy. I think that would be disingenuous, but just, it needed something, in my opinion. But I don't like her, so maybe that's just my bias against her.
I don't like her either, and I think recognizing that somebody does something right doesn't mean that we have to like her. I would like to see every politician have a graded performance from their constituents, and do literally you sample 1% of their constituency, and you get feedback on your performance, and it's graded and it's formulated. And if U.S. government wants to spend some money, that's a great place to do it, because they need to be told you're failing in this aspect, because if you don't have feedback, you can't be successful. That was my point about this. Some people said, is it real? I have no fucking idea. What I do know is that 100% Democrats split ticket and voted for Trump, and they didn't trust Kamala. They didn't trust Biden. They weren't happy, and they went against. It just shows you, I told you, America is not stupid. And they split Senate, they put some checks and balances. It didn't work because he took the national, but the swing states all put checks and balances in place so Donald Trump wouldn't have too much power. That's very important, and it's a tactic I told you about was more than likely going to happen. It just didn't work. Leeroy.
There is a really famous Thomas Sowell quote that says that no one really ever understands politics until they understand that politicians are not trying to solve our problems, they're trying to solve their own. Now, when you first brought that up and you started going through AOC's, conversations back and forth, actually polling the public for input as far as, hey, give me the God's honest truth. Why did you do this? Why did you vote for this? Or what are the programs? What am I doing wrong? Or what am I doing right? I like that.
Me too.
And I like the idea that she is able to kind of use that as a touchstone to get a pulse of the public to know when her policies are in alignment with what the public, where the public is headed, right? What are they thinking? So I did like that. It was kind of a refreshing thing. I don't like AOC a whole lot, but to see that, I liked it. It was refreshing.
Yeah, and people saying, do you think she flipped out? She asked the question. She wrote it. She understood that her voters voted for Trump, and she wants to know why.
Right.
That is growth, at least. Let's see what happens. Remember, Nancy Pelosi hated her. That's a good thing.
And to your point, a couple of years ago, you had said that if we ever wanted Nancy Pelosi on our team, like everyone would want that because that would be the biggest, pit viper in the snake pit. Could you imagine this kind of back and forth with and I don't think she would ever swing that far, but could you imagine if she ever, even came remotely closer to moderate, like
Tulsi Gabbard was more of a socialist than AOC. I'm just letting you know. Tulsi Gabbard was completely a socialist, progressive, and more than... Listen, AOC's worked with Republicans on several bills. We need to have this conversation. I don't like her, but you guys think that she's Satan and the devil. Ilhan Omar is. Rashida Tlaib is. Presley is. Ayanna Presley. AOC is somebody who I find intriguing because she comes from the working class, but she has loyalty. Like her popularity rating is ridiculously good. You got to ask the question, why? If you can't learn from your enemy, then you're failing. That's all I'm saying. Shang Tzu. 15 seconds. Leeroy, go.
Great show. I'm going to take less than 10. You guys are awesome. Amy, have a good night. That's it.
Yeah.
Amy. 15 seconds.
Everyone, thank you so much again for the donations. You guys are amazing. We love you so much for that. And it was good to see everybody. And I'll see you guys on a Wednesday.
Mason, nobody answer your questions on purpose. Olivia, 15 seconds.
Yes, thank you for all the donations and for everyone tuning in. And we had a couple of first-time listeners over on Rumble. So
good stuff.
Wonderful to have them here. And I will see you guys on Wednesday as well.
To answer your question, thank you, love you, is I think the House is at 214. They're not going to take the House. Democrats are not going to take the House. We have 7 seats that are going to fall that look really good. I'm telling you right now, I've been spot on. We're not going to lose the House. Everyone take a breath. There'll be recounts. There will be struggles. That's the way this works. No, Mason, you're just a fucking idiot. So I don't address idiots on my show. I just fucking ban you. So shut the fuck up before I get you
What
banned.
did he say?
He's just an idiot. Oh, secret hand signs. Yeah, I've got one for you. It's hold on. It's coming. Be patient.
Do a secret handshake on myself later.
It's coming. There it is, buddy. That's for you. You don't like that one? There's another one. Okay, cool.
Or the...
yeah.
That one too?
Okay. So thanks very much. So let's relax. We'll watch the rest. House don't worry about it. By the way, the popular vote, remember what I said about how many millions watch that?
Oh,
also,
it really down quite a bit, yeah.
Did I nail that fucking one or what? Go and check also the Kerry Lake race and look at the vote total. It's like 68, 69. That's going to be, like I said, 86,000. I think I'm going to get that within a few hundred votes. Watch. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. 7 o'clock tomorrow, just me solo. And we'll see you in the morning. Good night, everybody. God bless.
Y'all.
All right.
Night, y'all.
Mason, you're a moron. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
It plays when you don't want it to, and then won't play when you want it to.
I know. See you,
Gotta
Mason.
love it.
See you, Mason. I don't. You won't be back.
Adjusting transmitter output. This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy.
Hey, Amy, I've got a feeling that Mason's going to be back. So why don't you ban him just because I don't want to deal with a fucking headache tomorrow. So punch him. Thanks.
Amy and Olivia, geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.